So we're going to look at making this nice big bobble for our Gnomad Fringe gnome in a contrasting color. So this is done just working one stitch of our gnome body. So one stitch in the round. And we are going to be making out of this one stitch 7 stitches that we're going to knit in a contrasting color in stockinette and then decrease back together to give this nice nose effect without having to make a separate piece to sew on. So let's get started. So now we're going to start the nose. You're going to knit up until the point we're going to make the nose, which is a bobble. So I've just gone ahead and knit a couple of stitches in the green on my swatch here. Once we get to the point where we're going to start our nose, we're going to grab the contrast color we're going to use for the nose. We're going to leave that main color that we've been working with to the back, and we're going to just work this bobble with our contrast color. So I'm going to use this kind of light gray. That's my green. So we're going to be working this nose bobble within one stitch, so the next stitch on my needle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that stitch as if to knit, so knitwise. With my contrast color for the nose, I'm going to pull a stitch through, just making a knit stitch like so. I'm going to leave this stitch on my left needle because I'm going to make an additional 6 stitches out of this one stitch. So we're going to have 7 stitches for our bobble. So what I'm going to do, and I am a continental knitter, but it doesn't matter how you do this. So I'm going to start a repeat. So we've started off with a knit. I'm going to make a yarn over. So I've got 2 stitches here. I'm going to go back into this stitch on the left needle, knit 3 stitches, yarn over, knit. How many we've got now? It should be 5, 2, 4, 5. I'm going to do one more yarn over, 6, and I'm going to go back in once more and knit. So you're going to end with a knit stitch. So it alternates between knit, yarn over, knit, yarn over, and then a knit. So I should have 2, 4, 6, 7 stitches. Once I have the 7 stitches, I'm going to slide my stitch on the left needle in green, kind of my main color, off. And now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to work these 7 stitches. We're going to do stockinette stitch for 3 rows. So I'm going to just turn to the wrong side. And with my nose contrast color, I'm going to purl the 7 stitches I just made. So just purl across those stitches. Once I've purled across the wrong side, I'm going to turn around to the right side, and I'm going to knit across those 7 stitches. Like so. So it's starting to grow. I'm going to turn again back to the wrong side, and we're going to work those same 7 stitches. We're going to purl across, and once we've done that, we've done 3 rows of stockinette. So I'm going to turn one final time back to the right side. So what we should have is we've got a nice big nose forming. So now what we're going to do is we're going to decrease back to 1 stitch. So all the stitches we've made here in our nose contrast color, we're going to go back down to 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off decreasing by knitting 2 stitches together, which we're going to repeat 3 times. So I'm going to take my first 2 stitches, knit 2 together, so that's 1 decrease. I'm going to do that 2 more times, so knit 2 together, 2 stitches on my right needle, and a third time. Knit 2 together, and then this final stitch in my nose contrast color here, I'm going to knit 1. So I've gone from 7 to 4 stitches. Now what we're going to do is start passing stitches over top of each other to get down to 1. So we're going to do this a few times. So I'm going to take what is the second stitch on the needle over here, and I'm going to pass it over the first stitch. So kind of like binding off. So that's 1. So now I went from 4 stitches to 3. Do that again. So take the second stitch on that needle, pass it over the first, like so. So we went from 3 to 2, and I'm going to do it one final time. Take that second stitch, pass it over the first, and I'm down to 1. And there you have it. You've got a beautiful, nice big nose for the gnome. So once you've done that, you can break your contrast color and then start knitting again with your main color and continue with the pattern.